This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Staff linked to Tommy Lee bus stop remain on duty. National Security State Minister Xavier Main has asserted that the correctional officers involved in a bus stop with dancehall artist Tommy Lee Sparta at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center this week will not be removed from duty. The artist, whose given name is Leroy Russell, was reportedly badly beaten and rendered unconscious by correctional officers at the downtown Kingston-based prison on Monday and was later hospitalized. Russell's attorney, Donahue Martin, made calls for the Department of Correctional Services to remove the guards in question from duty until an investigation into the incident had been concluded, with the artist management also calling for a swifter, thorough probe. Based on the preliminary report, we are not of the view that the circumstances of the incident necessitated a removal of the officer from frontline duties, Main said as he addressed journalists at an event yesterday. Pressed further by the news, he said he could not comment on Russell's general conduct behind bars, adding that he was unaware of any previous altercations. The Independent Commission of Investigations, which has commenced a probe into the matter, was scheduled to interview the entertainer on Tuesday. Russell was sentenced in March 2021 to 3 years in prison for illegal possession of a firearm and 2 years for illegal possession of ammunition after being arrested in December 2020. On Monday, the DCS reported that an inmate, whose name was not disclosed, refused to re-enter his cell following the distribution of breakfast and hurled his meal at a member of staff who had been instructing him to re-enter the cell. Both the inmate and the correctional officer received injuries as the officer tried to subdue him, the release said. I can only speak on the basis of the initial report, Main said, pointing out that staff responded with a reasonable force in keeping with their training. Other inmates at the facility captured the unfolding altercation with cellular phones, although possession of such devices behind the bars is outlawed. Main said he had not seen any such recording. The news understands that a raid was conducted at the prison on Tuesday and a number of electronic devices were confiscated. Uncustomed cigarettes, alcohol, and an assortment of lighters and other smoking paraphernalia were among items reportedly discovered stashed in the staff locker room. No one has been identified as the owner of the items. Monique Price, the DCS's Director of Corporate Communication and Public Relations, told the news yesterday. While not speaking directly to the seizures, Main said that the Corrections Act was being operationalized, adding that the ministry would be taking a zero-tolerance approach to breaches. Any correctional officer that will aid and abet the inclusion of contraband in the correctional facilities, they too will be dealt with strictly in accordance with the law, he warned, noting that there was need for continued work to tackle the long-standing issue of prisoners having access to contraband. Police seized a homemade firearm in Cassava Peace. A homemade firearm and a one live 12-gauge shotgun cartridge was recovered during a police operation in Cassava Peace, St. Andrew on Wednesday. According to information obtained by the news, about 2:10 p.m., the Metro Quick Response Team and the Constant Spring Police carried out an operation in the community based on intelligence received about a suspicious activity. No arrest was made in connection with the find. 2 men charged with murder in Trelawney. 2 men have been charged with the murder of 50-year-old Clive Clark of Tyre in Trelawney on Sunday. They are 26-year-old Mason Mikhail Hyman and 18-year-old security guard Shemario Green, both residents of Tyre. It's alleged that the men beat Mr. Clark to death after accusing him of stealing baby chicks. Mr. Clark was pronounced dead at hospital. Mr. Hyman and Mr. Green were apprehended on Monday following an operation in Trelawney. Some Jamaican students in Ukraine reject help from government to return due to financial concerns. Jamaican students studying in Ukraine say they have not accepted the help offered by the Andrew Holness administration because doing so could mean they would be unable to afford to continue their education. The students are in a precarious position because Ukraine appears to be on the brink of war as tensions with its neighbor, Russia, escalate. The news spoke with one of the students on Wednesday afternoon. C.J. McCullough, who is a third-year student in Kharkiv, said the options presented by the government to students wishing to leave Ukraine are not workable. We have to first take out loans to take the flights that they have offered and then find a tuition to pay these medical schools. We simply don't have it. It defeats the purpose of studying in Ukraine in the first place. The reason why we came to Ukraine is because we couldn't afford the tuitions offered by medical schools in and around the Caribbean, he explained. According to Mr. McCullough, the government has said the fees to complete their medical studies in Jamaica could be discounted. But even if the fees are reduced, he said the students could not afford them. After doing my research, the tuition there is about $23,000. They would give us a discount. I reckon it would be in the range of maybe $18,000 or $19,000. Here in Ukraine, we are paying US $3,500 for tuition. At the University of the West Indies, the tuition there is about $28,000. After being subsidized by the government, it's about $5,800. If we leave and go to Jamaica, we would have to pay something in the range of about $20,000. That's a huge jump for our parents. The medical student said persons in his city are doubtful a war will materialize. There's a calm ambience about my city. The locals here don't seem to be worried at all, and the majority actually don't believe like a full-out war will happen. Despite this, there's still a threat and I am indeed concerned, he told the news. 8 Jamaican students have so far left Ukraine as the threat of conflict with Russia intensifies. An additional 5 students will travel from Ukraine this week. In an update on Wednesday, Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith said the 7 students who had requested assistance from the government to leave Ukraine have decided against returning to Jamaica. 2 Kingston men charged with wounding and illegal possession of firearm. 2 men have been arrested and charged with 2 counts of wounding with intent and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition following an incident along Snapper Pathway Phase 1, Seaview Gardens, Kingston 11. Charged are 20-year-old Ashanji Morgan and the 21-year-old Javier Walker, both of Seaview Gardens. Reports from the Hunts Bay Police are that about 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, August 2, 2020, a man was sitting at his gate in the company of friends when he was attacked and shot by the accused men. Another man was also injured in the incident. Both men were assisted to the hospital where they were treated and admitted in serious but stable condition. Morgan and Walker were subsequently arrested and charged after being pointed out on an identification parade. Enforcement notice served on person illegally mining sand in Great Bay Treasure Beach, said Samuda. An enforcement notice and a cessation order have been served on the individual who has been illegally mining sand in the Great Bay Treasure Beach area of St. Elizabeth. Senator Matthew Samuda, minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, who has responsibility for the environment and climate change, made the announcement Wednesday as he addressed the bi-weekly post-cabinet media briefing at the Jamaica House. He noted that the illegal activity was putting the sand dune in the area that are estimated to be up to 5,000 years old at risk, thus threatening the surrounding communities. The minister acknowledged that mining in the geologically sensitive area was a significant concern to residents. And I wish to assure all residents of the Great Bay area and by extension the Treasure Beach area that we will be taking steps to ensure that the area is rehabilitated appropriately. I wish to also advise citizens that we will be moving to ensure that the full extent of the law is applied to this case, said Samuda. He is also encouraging citizens to bring to the attention of the relevant authorities matters of environmental concern. The senator said NEPA, the police, no enforcement agency, will ever have the full footprint that we wish we would have in Jamaica, so we need to be our eyes and ears. When matters of this nature are brought to our attention, we will take the strongest possible action possible within the law. The de facto environment minister said the government was aware that the issue of sand mining in particular has been of concern to citizens for a long time, and we intend to work diligently to strengthen the laws that are related to this space, as well as to ensure that our enforcement keeps pace, he said. He added that the government will begin taking steps to look at the legal protection of the area and the sand dunes along the southern corridor. These sand dunes would have been formed some 5,000 years ago, and we believe they warrant the protection under the environmental laws of Jamaica. Last Friday, a stop order was issued by NEPA in relation to the mining of the sand dunes. This came after residents voiced their concerns that the community could become flooded as a result of the mining. The Jamaica Environment Trust also spoke out against the illicit and potentially dangerous activity. JET had cited that the dunes could be up to 5,000 years old and warned that their removal may have significant consequences for the nearby coastal communities. JET shared that coastal sand dunes protect the communities and critical infrastructure like roads and bridges from storms. Additionally, the environmental watchdog noted that the area being zoned for residential use meant no mining or quarrying should be taking place there. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.